You're listening to The Building Code. I'm Tom Houghton.
Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Worth.
Well, that's a warm welcome for our listeners there, Paul.
Again, we're changing it up every time.
That's exciting.
Who do we got today, Tom?
We'll bring our guest on in just a minute, but first I want to remind you that we're taking Buildertrend University on the road. We'll be hosting Buildertrend University in Dallas, Texas on October 3rd, 2019. Anyone is welcome to attend. It's a one-day conference for you and your team to learn more and optimize your usage of Buildertrend. You can sign up online at buildertrendu.com/Dallas. Paul and I will be there, and we hope to see you there too. Now we'll get started with today's guest. Today we are doing another feature spotlight.
These are fun.
These are
big
great.
Fan.
Yeah, you are a big fan.
Yeah.
Big fan of Buildertrend.
Big fan of the features of Buildertrend.
Yeah. We got a lot of features to get through.
I think there's like 29.
So I think we're on number 3 or 4 now.
3 or 4.
So we're off to a good start.
But this is a cornerstone feature.
This is a great feature.
Little teaser right there.
Ooh, that was a good teaser. So our feature that we're going to be talking to you about today is scheduling, and joining us is Gina Saccoman from our engineering division. Gina's title is Product Release Coordinator, so she is in the thick of it with getting those product enhancements released.
That's right.
That is an accurate description of her job title.
That's what she does. I just let everybody know.
Gina's a product release coordinator, so she does a really good job of releasing products.
Absolutely.
There you go.
She's coordinated it like crazy.
What a coordination.
Yeah.
Welcome, Gina, to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You were just saying off air that this is your favorite podcast.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
my
nice. Favorite. Yeah.
It's nice how these things are aligned.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's our only podcast.
A lot of competition, I guess.
I'll still take it, though.
But yeah. So she's a longtime listener, a first-time guest. So that's excining for you.
Yes. Happy to have you.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Good stuff.
Well, should we start with scheduling, or should we start about learning about Gina?
All right, no, we're going to save our fun facts to the end.
That's right.
That's a nice little teaser. You got to wait till the end to hear some fun facts about Gina. She's got some pretty fun facts. So
Boy.
Well, we'll be the judge of that.
Okay.
yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Hold on a second.
Okay, so just a quick note to be sure to listen to the very end of the episode because Gina throws out a surprise sneak peek at something coming soon. Let's dive into scheduling. First off, there's so much to this feature, but let's just start at the very, very beginning of why somebody should be using scheduling.
Sure. Well, I mean, it's really the place where you're going to efficiently keep track of all of your projects and you can actually see on our all listed jobs, all of your jobs at the same time. So your projects from start to finish are on the schedule. You can easily set up your schedule items, and it's actually one of the features that you can share with the subs and the owners. So that's, you're communicating with everyone and they can see as much as you want them to see. So really before Buildertrend, a lot of people are using pen, paper, their Excel sheets, maybe Microsoft projects. And so with Buildertrend, you have all of that in one place, not just on somebody's piece of paper or something that was on the job site. Everything that's changing in the schedule is going to be, tracked right in Buildertrend, and as it changes, you can communicate with everyone that it's changing. You're not going to be here that day. Today I don't need you today. I need you tomorrow, or I need you to start on Monday. So it's just a better way to efficiently track all of your projects.
Awesome. And you can find this is one of our project management features.
Yeah, it's the first thing in the drop down.
So yeah, right when you go in there, drop down.
Yep.
It's a cornerstone feature.
Boom, scheduling.
Yeah. It was one of the original features. The original set of features, I think we probably had like 9 right off the bat in 2006 when we started. Scheduling, or it was referred to back then as calendar.
Yes.
Which was unique because typically scheduling in construction is off a Gantt chart, right? If you're using like Microsoft Project, which is probably the number one software out there. But what's unique about us, even though it was called calendar and that's the first default view, each user can set whatever view they want. I think we have 6 different views.
Yep.
Or something like that.
Well, we have month, week, day, list, agenda, Gantt, baseline, phases.
7.
Boom. Yeah. So
it's a bonus one.
If you would like to set your default to Gantt chart, you can.
Yep.
Little tip for the listeners. You can do that. And then also, Gina mentioned the all listed jobs, and that's super unique to Buildertrend because a lot of systems out there, each job lives in a silo as it relates to the schedule and the subs and vendors that are actually, on the schedule. But with Buildertrend, you can click on all listed jobs, layer all these schedules on top of each other, and then go even further. Like you can search for resources. So Tom, I know you know construction, so it's, this
big construction guy.
Yeah, this is obviously going to be a little elementary for you. But if you're using one drywall guy, across 15 jobs, you probably don't want to put them in 3 places at once, right?
That's a good point there, Paul.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So once you go to all listed jobs, you can hit a drop down, search for your drywall guy, see where that person is across all jobs. And even further than that, Buildertrend lets you know when you do collision avoidance. So when you overbook your resource. So when you actually put him on the 3rd job, if he can only be at 2 at once, then it notifies you right away. How about those apples?
That's pretty fantastic. Gina, there's probably a lot that happens on the back end to make that happen.
Yes, to keep track of all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you asking about the development of it, or like
Sure,
keeping track
yeah.
of all that?
Give us a kind of inside, behind the curtain.
It's kind of one of those features right now that, we do minor adjustments more than anything major because we have had the calendar for so long. So even when I had first started here, we didn't have the agenda view, and we had an older Gantt chart, and we didn't really have we had a critical path, but now we have an even better critical path view. You can see the critical path on different views. The baseline, the way that we calculate that for work days versus non-work days, all that stuff has been enhanced. So we have one of our dev teams is Threat Level Midnight.
Ooh,
really fun.
That's a good name.
Really fun.
Where does
names
that come from?
The Office.
The show The Office?
The show The Office.
Of course,
Yeah, Steve Carell.
I like the UK version better.
Well, you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
for us Americans,
you know what that is? That's like bragging, oh yeah, I like the book better.
Right.
That's when people say the UK
The book
version of
over the movie.
Office, not a big fan.
That's what's happening.
They're both good.
They're both good. Anyway, that's where
Sorry.
Threat Level Midnight comes
that's
from.
where the name
Yeah.
came from.
But what
But
is
they
that?
got to
We'll
choose-
put it
they
in the
got to
show
choose-
notes.
Yeah.
Because there's actually Threat Level Midnight was the script that Michael Scott was creating.
Oh, see, I want to know. That's
And
what that
then,
is.
yep, we'll put a link into Threat Level Midnight in the show notes, so you can take a look there.
That they maintain the calendar. So when anything comes up, or if there's something we're looking to change, product works on the product side. We work through all the things that might be an issue or things that we want to change, and then we'll get it to dev, and that team will make sure that they're getting those enhancements out. So. Whenever we get an enhancement request, we talked a little bit about user voice last week with Eric Fisher. And that's where we're getting a lot of our feedback on things that they'd like to see or changes that they want throughout the program, but on the schedule. So we'll keep track of that, and what we can get the devs to work on, we get out to them, and they get out to you, or our builders.
Yeah, that's a great point. And on that, Gina, you are on a team of close to 100 people, I think, a little bit more in our engineering, product QA, basically what it takes to keep Buildertrend up, running, and forward thinking as it relates to updating features and functionality. One of the frustrations that team has is, and it's nobody's fault, but that team works really hard on really cool updates and features, and a lot of our clients don't know about them.
Yeah.
So let's surface some really cool stuff with the scheduling tool that people may not know.
Okay.
You've mentioned 2 of them already, which I think are important. The all listed, but then you mentioned the baseline view.
Oh, yep.
So I feel like I'm always explaining our features to you, Tom. So
Yeah, you can explain it to me. That's fine.
okay. So the baseline view. When you start a job, new construction or remodel, or even if you're in commercial, a tenant finish, you have a schedule, right? Let's say that predicted schedule is 90 days. Well, with our baseline view, you set that. And then from that point on, anytime you make an adjustment, positive or negative, to that schedule, it'll record that along with who made the adjustment. And then you could put notes on it and actually reasons why.
Yep.
That's important for our clients because it's like an autopsy at the end of the job. Like, how did we get to 25 days over, or whatever it may be? And so when you're making changes, best practice is to say, change order cost us 14 more days. Weather delay here. Delivery was missed, or broken stove when it got delivered, so we had to reorder, things like that. And so you can see, not only just for you guys to get better, you guys being a construction company, to get better and more efficient at their schedule, but a lot of times you're going to have somebody pretty upset with a delayed schedule, right?
Absolutely.
So it's just like, here's why. So if you're not using the baseline,
Yep,
use the baseline.
And that part of that too is linking up your schedule items, which is another piece of best practice, and really just making sure that your critical path is actually set up. And if one item doesn't get done today, and it's going to move the other items behind it, if it's linked up correctly, it's going to shift everything with one shift. So and that will be tracked in the baseline as well. And then they can add a reason, and that reason will go to all of those schedule items. So that's a nice way to set up your schedule so that you only have to make one change, and everyone that's affected by that can be notified. So the communication there is key for internal users and subs.
That's one of my favorite features, actually, when demoing the program, is when you move the event over one day and then the rest of the days just trickle down. It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're not using a system like Buildertrend, those are 30 phone calls you got to make if you even make them.
Yeah.
Most likely you won't.
Right.
And then nobody knows when they're supposed to be there, and it's a whole rigmarole.
Yeah.
You're chasing people down.
Where do you think rigmarole comes from?
2 points for a rigmarole.
Where do you think
rigmarole
comes from?
We'll put that in the show notes.
Kaylee.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's on it.
The other one you mentioned, which I think bears repeating, is phases. And that's probably new since you got in the role.
Yeah.
Maybe?
I think I helped build that, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Hey.
right? I know.
Look at that little plug.
Been here a while.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So what is the point of phases?
Yeah, the phases are really more to group your items together. So if you're in a demo phase and then you move on to the next phase, it's kind of a cool feature in that it groups everything together, and you know when your phase 1 is done, you can then let everyone know that phase 2 is coming. It's also cool on the owner side if you really just want to share with the owner just the phases. So you don't have to show them every single schedule item as is. You can choose what they see. But if you're just showing them the phases, they're not questioning, oh, hey, this guy didn't come out today, because they want to know what's going on with their job. But they get that good like overall view, and they're like, oh, plumbing's supposed to be done next week, not just like the bathtub is supposed to be in or something like
Sure.
that. So it's a cool feature for them.
Kind of more of a 30,000 foot view of
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's another cool setting on the owner. When you set up the job, you can actually basically, I'm paraphrasing, but you can make a setting that says, show the owner my schedule, but only show them 1 week ahead at a time, 2 weeks ahead at a time. So revolving, it'll just kind of only give them so far ahead of time so they don't get ahead of themselves.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And then they're not so concerned about the things that are getting affected, 2 months down the road or anything like that. That's not necessarily the concern. They just want to kind of see what's happening now.
Yeah. Let's talk about integration on the go, because not only can you do this on full site on buildertrend.net, but also on your mobile app. When you're out in the field, you can see everything there is to do with the schedule.
Yeah, you have the month view option. You have a Gantt chart, so you have the different views that you have. Most of the different views that you have on full site as well, and you can change your schedule item on the go. If you're there and you know that they're not going to be done today, they can shift that. Or if you know something got done, let's be more positive, right? If something got done early,
yeah, there you go.
Then others know that they have to be at the job the next day, or their schedule is going to change a little bit too. So you have all those views, and yeah, it's a quick, easy make to your schedule right in the field. Mm-hmm.
That's another unique feature with Buildertrend. There's many construction softwares out there, but we are the only system out there that has basically full functionality from the mobile app. A lot of systems will, as you were referencing, just let you view the schedule, but our system actually lets you view the schedule in all of our views and make adjustments in whatever view you prefer on the fly, which is really cool. Can you go to all jobs on the mobile app? Yeah. Yeah, that's really unique as well.
They different views though, maybe not the month view. So that would be a little overwhelming for that one. But shout out to the mobile dev team, because the way that we have our mobile app set up is really, you're not going to the Buildertrend website. You're not going to .net and bringing you to Safari, and you're trying to like figure out how to see that on your phone. You're getting a real native view on the mobile app, so that also makes it simple, easy, and easy to read.
Yeah, that's
Speaking
cool.
of easy to read, I just love the color usage. You can change things by colors.
Yep.
Got it pulled up here.
Schedule items could be a specific color. Lots of things you can add like specifically to each schedule item. I mean, we talk a lot about the phases. There you can choose the phase. You can add tags, so different ways to filter for different schedule items. Maybe your colors are your phases, or your plumbers are green, things like that. You can attach files, you can add comments. So anyone in the field can have access to those files that is like legitimately with that schedule item. You can add comments, RFIs. Ask questions, make sure you get those answers back. And without that, you can't complete the schedule item. So.
Yeah, you were talking about colors. One other thing that many people take advantage of, but if you're not, pull your car over right now and listen up. which is templates. And that is something that works on a lot of different levels. So for instance, if as a business you want a drywall always to be red and paint always to be blue or whatever you want, the only way to consistently do that is create a template and then apply that template to the next job. A lot of people think, hey, well, I'm not a production home builder. Every job's different. Why would I need a template? The basics are you're either starting from scratch every time and you're inherently going to miss some things, right? You're going to forget about X, Y, or Z. Or you're going to think that, paint's green instead of blue and it's 8 days instead of 10 days or whatever it is. The template's just there to give you a framework for the next job. It doesn't have to be the exact same kitchen or the exact same home, but it's going to be in there to make sure that you don't forget anything. And then you can delete things off the template or extend items and assign them to people. It just helps you start a job quicker, right?
Yes. And it definitely, you kind of have a standardized schedule, like you said, no matter what job you're doing. And having that set up, we also have a cool feature that kind of has to do with the job site details too. But if you want to assign it to sub A or you want to assign it out as a template, you don't know who's going to be on it. You don't necessarily have to assign a specific person to a schedule item. And then once you actually import the template into your job, that schedule those schedule items can be reassigned to anyone. So if you can switch out internal users, you can switch out subs. So that's kind of a fun, like a super user button on the internal user and sub details.
So is that like a placeholder?
Yep. It's like a placeholder sub.
Let's say that I had 5 schedules and the schedules are about to go live and I had a placeholder just called drywall placeholder. Mm-hmm. I can go to my subs, pick A1 drywall, and then it automatically throws them in all 5 places?
You would be in the job.
Job to job.
Yep,
Yeah.
you would be
Still
in
very valuable though.
Yep. And you can also use the mass actions on the schedule too. So it doesn't have to necessarily be all of the users, but you could select the 5 things that person's going to do and reassign it to them right there. So that's kind of a cool list view feature.
Mm-hmm. So we talked a little bit about super users, how they can benefit from this feature, but I think it's also important to note if somebody's just starting out with Buildertrend, this is a great place to start. I can't tell you how many people I talked to who said the first thing we did was scheduling. And maybe you can talk to like the ease of use behind it, and I don't know.
Sure. Honestly, to add a schedule item could be as easy as literally we have a quick add option on the month, week, and day views, and you could put in just what it is and when you'd like to do it, and just one item at a time. A lot of people that do have their projects in Excel or Microsoft projects, we have a data entry team that helps out with that, so they can actually import it for you, so you get that base without having to do every one of them on your own. But yeah, the quick add and templates it's just easy to get your schedule just set up.
So that data entry team just takes if I've got my stuff, like you said, in Project or Excel, they'll take that data and put it into Buildertrend for me so I can get off the ground even faster.
Exactly. And so you're going to have that base. And then like Paul said, you can delete what you don't need. You can change it. You can actually template and copy your template. And as your job's going, you can create that as a template. When you actually have a job set up where you really like the schedule, you can make that a template. So there's lots of cool features to that to make it even easier to get your schedule set up. Yep.
I think it's a great way to get buy-in from the team too, because I think it's really easy to see it. It's visually appealing to look at. They'll look at all the colors and all laid out, all nice and pretty there. But I think that way everybody can kind of get on board with Buildertrend and see like, hey, this is a benefit because everybody can see and stay up to date with it.
And so you're talking more about the month view, but the list view is also very similar to like an Excel sheet or project management. So those who don't love the colors and don't love that, we also have the view in the list view. It's just listing out what's happening, what's next, and what should come before it and things like that. So it's a kind of, you can choose what your favorite is. The other cool part of the schedule is that it links to a ton of other items. So there's a filter that you can have on all the time if you want, but you can add in your other items like your to-dos and your daily logs and any due dates that you have on change orders and bills and POs. So everywhere you have that link to deadline toggle, if you see those, it's literally a toggle. You can link it. Yeah, right. You can link it to before or after a schedule item, and then you're going to see that on your calendar, and you're going to know that that's coming up, and you can be notified of those too. So it really does take, as you take, to the rest of the program, it takes it all back to the calendar schedule.
Yeah, so schedule, to Tom, your point, schedule is one of the first things you learn. But also, we always talk about those like the big 3, like schedule, to-dos, and daily logs, and that's to Gina's point. And so when you're in the calendar view, you definitely want to go to the drop down and select what other things you can view, because it's not like viewing what's there, but like if you're a business owner, you can see on Wednesday the 25th that we were doing framing, and then there was a daily log posted and 2 photos added, and it's all going to be in one calendar for you. So it's basically like a real full scope of what happened on the job that day.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great feature to use. Everybody should be using this right now.
Get on the schedule.
Great feature.
Yeah. If you feel like we've missed something, we want to know about it. So give us a call at our phone number on the hotline at 402-596-6437. You can leave us a message if you feel like we've missed something. We'll bring it up in a future episode on schedules. 402-596-6437, or shoot us an email at podcast@buildertrend.com. And we'd love to hear from you on your thoughts on the schedule feature.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we're going to get voicemails.
Of course.
Let's go.
Come on, call in. We want to hear from you.
We're like a real live show now.
We're like a real deal. Yeah. 2 steps away from live still. So
I think I heard,
we'll
heard
get
about this, but I was genuinely surprised when you just said that. What's the number again?
402-596-6437.
I'm going to call it in my disguised voice.
Okay.
You can pick which one.
Well, we'll see. There you go. We'll see.
I like the southern one.
Yeah.
can
There you
that
go.
Country.
Okay, awesome. Gina, thank you so much for coming on and talking about scheduling. Before you go, we want to talk about you a little bit to get to know you a little bit more. We've got some fun fact questions to ask you. I think first off, one thing that we missed at the very beginning is you've been here for a while, Gina, here at Buildertrend.
6 years and a couple weeks.
That's
Yep.
pretty awesome.
I started in CS and was on the phones and was training builders on how to use the program, and then ended up in product a year later and have had a few different roles in product. And now as a product release coordinator, just trying to help coordinate everything from product to dev and make sure that we're working on the right features and getting them done in a timely manner, and then communicating that out to our internal and external users.
And you had a special connection with one of our previous guests on the podcast, Michael Lee.
I did say that he was one. I was his onboarding, or I was coach, or they call it a coach now. So
Yeah.
I was
Originally started.
Steven's coach. Yeah.
There you go.
Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get to know you a little bit more. So first question for you. Gina, you're known around the office for doing handstands.
Truth.
And that's because your background is in gymnastics, correct?
Yes.
Maybe you could share a little
Yeah.
about your gymnastic background.
Okay. I started when I was 7. I'm actually from Minnesota, and I went to Twin City Twisters. Shout out to them.
Okay, yeah. They're big
Anyone
listeners
listening.
of the podcast.
Yeah, probably.
Really
probably.
big. Yeah.
I still, and I did that and competed through JO Nationals, and then I made it to Nebraska. So I competed for Nebraska for 4 years. 2000 and 2004 was my time there.
There you go.
So what was your event?
So I was a 2-time All-American on vault.
What?
That's kind of fun, yeah.
Yeah.
But I really did love doing
big deal.
floor. I had like fun floor music. My dad used to make my floor music for me, and so I
Nice.
got to choose. And Welcome to the Jungle was my
Was your
senior
jam.
year. Was yeah.
Wait,
so
is your dad Axl Rose? I'm
yeah, yeah, he sang those songs.
He's doing a live cover. Way to go, Dad.
like,
Yeah.
actually,
no,
like,
my dad's not Axl Rose.
So
no,
like,
he's
how does your dad make music for you if it's just like a song from Axl?
You can use the songs and kind of put them
he mixed it.
together.
He got-
Yeah, he was like DJ
he's
dad.
So he got
right.
in the lab and like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, right. Like
Way to
when it
go.
was, CDs and things like that.
Nice. Way to go,
So,
Dad.
Yeah.
2-time
So
All-American. So we'll put a picture of you in the show notes with your All-Americanness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So check that
I'll
out.
help you pick that picture probably.
that would be good.
Yeah.
Editorial approval.
Yeah.
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 Now, for everyone who doesn't work at Buildertrend, Gina has a soundbite that she plays and is kind of known for around the office for using this. Gina, you want to tell us about that?
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah, you do. that.
yeah,
horn.
air horn. Yeah.
Your air horn
Yeah.
all the time.
I always have it. Well, because
New
we have
features
to get
come out.
excited
Yeah.
when there's a new feature. So
There it is.
One more time. There you go.
yeah. Yeah, because we want to get excited and people to appreciate when something comes out. Because we do, we're doing something every day. So everybody puts a lot of effort into that. So it comes all the way, from CS all the way out to back to the builders. So we're going to just celebrate a little bit. So
Nothing wrong
like
with
that noise.
celebrating.
Yeah.
I love celebrating.
You're a big fan.
I'm celebrating right now.
What does that even mean?
I'm just happy to be here. on the podcast. Wow. There we go.
Yeah, there we
nice. Last question for you, Gina. What's your favorite feature of the program besides scheduling?
Good question.
Thanks. Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Bad
She's like,
answer.
I like them all.
I know, like, because I want to say that I love the ones that I did, but
Oh, well,
yeah.
then you should say that.
But I actually really like to-dos because it is just a heavily used feature, and we have enhanced it so much from the beginning. I was actually part of the beginning of to-dos too.
Nice.
We took on tasks and wanted to enhance that and make sure that it worked in and out of the calendar. And now you can, I think you already had a spotlight on to-dos so that they know all the secrets of what you can do with that. But it's a really cool feature, and you can use it no matter who you are.
Love it. Make sure you check out that episode. We'll put a link to that in the show notes.
I feel like I should have talked about, like, I have a sneak peek, like, of a feature that's coming out.
Let's do it.
You
Can I
do?
talk about it?
No,
I know.
Whoa, what is
We're
this?
all
You're
about it.
holding back on us, Gina.
Well, yeah, I didn't know if we had time.
We'll make time for a
Okay,
sneak peek.
there's time. So we are working on a feature that we're calling Slack on the calendar, on the schedule.
Slack on the schedule.
Yes.
Okay. Not like Slack as in like Slack chat.
No.
No.
A lot of people don't
Like
that
Float.
don't use Slack. Yeah, like Float.
Float.
A little wiggle room.
Slack. Wiggle room.
Yeah, wiggle
good.
room. It's I wanted to call it Wiggle. That was my vote, but
Yeah.
it didn't.
But it didn't.
work.
Instead it went with Slack.
Slack. Yeah.
Yeah.
probably
it's an
better.
industry.
Probably
term.
better.
It's
Let's be
fine.
honest.
Yeah.
It's a good call.
But it's basically another type of predecessor linking, and the number of workdays of an item can be, or like of the number of let me try that again.
Yep.
Of the number of workdays an item can be delayed or extended before it actually forces the other item after it to shift with it.
So, Gina, explain to Tom why a construction company would want Slack or Float inside an item like framing.
Well, it would help them to not waste days of work or push anything back that didn't actually need to be pushed back. Because if it is something that you could have started today because they would have done something for a couple more days, but the next thing can start before that third day is over, like they should still be on the job that day. So right now we're kind of, there are workarounds, but we want to get rid of those obviously. And then with this, you can have that wiggle room to say, you've got 2 extra days to get this done, but my other guy's going to be there and doing his job as well. So it's just trying to be more efficient with your schedule. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just the realities of construction is that nobody really knows how long things are going to take. I mean, there's a general idea, but just because something took, you scheduled it for 10 days and it ended up being 14 days doesn't necessarily mean the schedule's behind, because many contractors have that float already baked in. So 14 days will be the schedule item, but they'll probably have like 4 days of float. So,
Or Slack.
Slack. What do we want to call it?
We're calling it
I
Slack.
mean, it's Slack, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's another Slack that kind of owns that.
I know. That's what I was bringing up. Right.
I think it should be float.
Well, I guess stay tuned to see what the feature ends up. Yeah.
Let's see who wins.
We'll see. Yeah.
Actually, we should
I'm just
vote.
going to put in wiggle.
There you go.
We should throw it on Twitter or something and put like a vote.
Or, we'll either put a vote on the show notes or just call in or email us.
Oh, there you go.
Podcast@buildertrend.com.
User voice.
Well, or I guess you could use our official channels.
No, let's go with
Feedback
podcast.
channel. No. Okay.
I want every listener to vote. Should this new feature be called Slack or Float? Or if you have a better idea, send us in an email. We will count them up, and next episode we will tell you who the winner is.
Fantastic.
This is how I get in trouble.
This
upstairs.
Is upstairs. Yeah, we have a whole
Hey, guess
engineering
what?
team
We're
who's
going to
like
change
tapping their feet,
everything.
like, what is happening down there? Awesome.
No, it's good. We want to make sense. So it would make sense to have that come out the first time.
There you
right?
go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fantastic. We've really enjoyed having you on, Gina. Thanks for coming on and sharing your knowledge about the scheduling tool, and then also just about giving this sneak peek. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Thanks, Gina. Appreciate you.
Want to share a suggestion for a future guest? Have a question about Buildertrend that you'd like us to discuss, or a topic that you'd want us to cover on the podcast? Let us know by calling and leaving us a message at 402-596-6437. That's 402-596-6437. And who knows, you'll maybe hear yourself on the podcast. Love what you heard? Don't forget to rate and subscribe to our podcast so you can hear from more guests that will benefit your business. Also, please check out our show notes page for more information on what we discussed on this episode. You can find it at buildertrend.com/podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on The Building Code.
Appreciate you.